rather than many separated. I'm not going to talk about the Nordic cooperation as such, but just wanted to mention that there are 3 institutions placed or situated in Oslo where I sit, the Nordic Innovation Center, the Nordic Research Council, Nordforsk, which is more supporting basic research or Center of Excellence. And then we have also Nordic Energy Research. What is for us, and the reason why we define innovation as we do with this huge link to the market, is that we belong to the Minister of Business, Energy and Regional Policy. So that, of course, influences how we approach our projects or our tasks. I also want to mention that we have looked into possible cooperation related to climate changes. And we, for example, are now looking into possibilities because there was this publication for call-in for CIP. This is intelligent energy. It's belonging to the DG Enterprise. We're focusing on how to implement more, for example, energy efficient technology. It's very interesting, but we are looking into it how or if we could apply. And I think that is something you should also look into. Tacit should look into this, especially with energy or new energy resources. There are around 44 million euros, and the call is closing now in June. I think if we look at how I can see the Tacit, I think we can say that there are strongholds and strategies in the Nordic countries that you can build your ideas on. We have, if you look at this formannskapsprogram for every year, they are talking about sustainability, environmental, climate, and etc. And I think that is something that you can really rely on in your when you are establishing the Tacit Center. And you have the strategy for sustainable development, Arctic cooperation progress, and there are several others that you can look into. If we take it from the Nordic perspective. You can also say that there are national strategies related to climate and climate changes. All the Nordic countries have more or less national strategies. And we can say that we think that the political framework in place, we are very good at putting forward regulations and say how we are going to do this. But and we think that we are also good with the social acceptance. But as I mentioned, if we are going to go for the eco-innovation, that these pillars are very important in combination with the industry. We have excellent research groups that we can cooperate with or include in this work of being innovative economy, the Nordic countries, and the competitive industry, both in terms of making environmental technology or new services, but also flexible structure to be innovative in itself. And we believe the Nordic countries, we have good image, so it should be very easy to come up with some good cooperation platforms. And I think we can say there is a need and there is a changes that we have to adapt. And I think it's very important that we need good research and excellent research centers, but we are not allowed to put the innovation or the eco-innovation as part of the research. We have to look at this separately. I think that is very important. And I think we have to be, we are regional, but we have to think globally. And I think what was said earlier here, Alain from Scotland, when he was talking about the fishery management, I think that's an excellent example how, even though we are regional, that we have to think globally or in a bigger perspective than we have done before. And maybe we have to redefine what is being regional. That is one thing. And I think there is, how I perceive it, there is a need for transatlantic cooperation within the marine sector. I think there's a lot of know-how for example, in Canada that we can apply here in the Nordic countries and vice versa. So there is definitely a role for TASI to play. I think it's only important that we have to define the niche, and we have to find how we can link, for example, the Nordic activities together, and we have to think virtual. So good luck.
Thank you very much, Sigríður.